This is Roane General Hospital. I'm just showing you a little bit of this because this is where family health care actually started in about 1982. Hospital, of course, was much smaller than this and in financial trouble like most other rural hospitals were. But anyway, family health care was started as an adjunct to the hospital to provide OB services back in about 1982. Then a Kellwood grant came along to help it, and in 1992, family health care actually got its FQHC status and became a federally qualified health center. And at that point in time, it was actually identified as a competitor to Roane General Hospital's primary care unit. So in 1998, Roane General Hospital became a critical access hospital, and in 1999 it reached that designated status, and for the next several years it did very well financially. But anyway, family health care started here, and then as we take a drive to the office this morning, I'll show you a little more about Spencer and about how family health care actually came into being. Windshield is a little bit misty this morning, 6:30. Beautiful morning here in West Virginia. You can see this is a beautiful campus. There's about 11 acres up here, and there was a lot of turmoil, a lot of controversy about family health care building here at the hospital. A lot of community people really wanted that, and it just didn't work for a lot of different reasons, mostly political. This is a McIntosh mansion over here, and you can see when a patient drives to Roane General Hospital, they have a very pleasant view. Coming out on Highway 14 now, and we'll go south to the city of Spencer. To Spencer now. We're just outside the city limits. Spencer's a very small town, about 2,200 people here in north central West Virginia, just about an hour north of Charleston, and there's a city sign. Welcome to Spencer, 2,200 people. It's the only real municipality in Roane County, county seat. Very old town, very small town. And it's a picturesque town, not much activity. Lost about 1,000 jobs in the last 5 or 6 years, maybe a little longer. Spencer was the home of the Spencer State Hospital. It originally was called Spencer Hospital for the Criminally Insane. It was built in about 1856 or so, somewhere along there, maybe a little later. But it had played a big part in the history of this town because it at one time took care of about 1,200 patients and employed 300 or 400 staff members. So it was a big player here in the local economy for almost 100 years. It was decommissioned in about 1986 when Governor Rockefeller was here. John J. Rockefeller, who is now a U.S. Senator and has been for quite a long time. But he was here, and they decided that the hospital was too expensive, not fulfilling the needs. So there was very quick action by the legislature and the governor to actually decommission the hospital, tear it down, and consequently gave the ground to the city of Spencer. So what we have here is a very interesting set of facts leading up to the present, and the history of family health care is closely interwoven with the history of Spencer and the history of the Spencer State Hospital. The mayor here, Terry Williams, has been mayor for about 30 years, and he has been in power, and he has created his own mythology of invincibility and his own mythology of invulnerability as well as omnipotence. So it all goes to the bottom line of a human drama that has played itself out over the years here as he has been kept in power primarily due to the factors involved in this small town, made up heavily of people who have known him since he was a kid here, growing up, and also the fact that the people here are very apathetic about government. This town is made up largely of people on Medicaid, largely on people who are just truly apathetic about government, and that's what we're dealing with here today. This is downtown Spencer, not much to it. The city hall is down this little street here, and that's part of the knowledge here. Possum Holler. This is the main drag, Highway 33 through Spencer. On the right here is a new establishment. Gino's Pizza is going in there, Tudors. And the interesting part about it, and sorry about the camera being bounced around because it is fairly rough here, as most roads are right now. But the interesting part about this whole thing is that this organization, or company actually, is owned by former Senator Oshel Crago, who was first elected to the West Virginia Senate in about 1980. And he served as the chairman of the House Finance Committee for years and years and years, until he got beat a few years ago by Lisa Smith, who was really a trip in herself, and I don't think she even finished out her first term before she was convicted of income tax fraud and various other stuff. A real mental case. We lost a real ally in Senator Crago. However, at the same time I was talking to the mayor about building a women's health care center here across the road from Family Health Care, and getting nowhere. I've got it totally ignored by the mayor and the Spencer Economic Development Authority. At the same time, Senator Crago sailed through the same Spencer Economic Development Authority with no restrictions and very fast track, so he could get the prime spot here, so he could build his Gino's Pizza and Tudors thing. I'm just driving around here to get you acclimated to the real estate here. And this blue building is another debacle. Was built several years ago and has basically never been occupied. It's been empty ever since, but it's a big player in the story that has unraveled. Family Health Care here was actually reconstructed from an old building, and this is the state hospital property. Walmart is on the state hospital property. This was several hundred acres, and off to my right here, as you will see, is where the old state hospital building actually stood. One of the longest buildings east of the Mississippi River. It was a beautiful old building, but it was old and very, very difficult to maintain, and had just outlived its purpose. And this old building that Family Health Care now occupies was part of the state hospital complex. It was built in 1948, and it is on a postage stamp sized piece of property. So I'm going to mount the camera and go out front so that you'll have a good idea of the entire story of Roane County Family Health Care. Thank you. I'm Larry Dent, CEO of Roane County Family Health Care, and I will say more about that as soon as I remount the camera. Thank you. Here is Roane County Family Health Care. I'm standing in a roadway on the property, but the property line of Family Health Care is actually the middle of the sidewalk. Now I'm going to pan around here, and then I'll walk out front so I can point it out to you. This is the south part of the building, and this is all the parking lot that we have here on the south end. We have 62 employees. We do 36,000 patient visits a year. We have 7,500 patients. But the property line here, and the sun is coming up, so I'll switch positions here in a minute.